Hi. So today we're going to be talking about writing equations. Writing equations is very similar to writing our expressions. The only difference is we have to account for our equal sign. Because remember, our equation is setting two expressions equal to each other. You can use what you know about writing algebraic expressions to help you write algebraic equations. So they're giving us a question here. A circus recently spent $1,650 on new trapezes. The trapezes cost $275 each. Write an equation that could be used to find the number of trapezes T that the circus bought. So they're showing us our equation for the situation is going to be our cost per trapeze, which is $275, times our number of trapeze we bought, T, and that's going to be equal to the total that we spent, 1,650. So, in that case, we can see that $275 times the number of trapezes that we buy is going to be equal to 1,650. They're not asking us to solve it. They just want us to write the equation. So they gave us the words, and they want us to write the algebraic equation. They're giving us another example here that we can try. They're telling us Ben is making a recipe for salsa that calls for 3.5 cups of tomatoes. He chops 4 tomatoes, which fill 2 1/4 cups. Write an equation that could be used to find how many more cups C that Ben needs. So over here, they're saying cups filled plus cups needed is equal to the total cups for the recipe. So we want 3.5 cups. We have to do a little bit of thinking for this one because we want 3.5 cups. We know that we chopped 4 tomatoes already. So we want 3.5 cups. We have that the 4 tomatoes gave us 2 1/4 cups. So we need to write an equation that could be used to find out how many more cups C that Ben needs. C is our cups needed. So we have our 2 1/4 cups plus how much more we need is going to be equal to our 3 1/2 cups. So I'm going to call this A. And this is going to be our B. This is our final answer for A. For B, our final answer is going to be 2 1/4 plus C is equal to 3 1/2. This is how many cups we have. This is how many cups we need. And this is how much the recipe calls for. Here they're giving us another example. They're giving us another A and B for example 1, and another A and B for example 2. So here, remember, we have to remember our keywords. They're asking us to take our keywords and translate the words into algebraic symbols. So we have for 1A, they're telling us 6 fewer than a number is 46.33. So in this, we need to break down our sentence. Remember, is translates to equals. So we're going to have something is equal to our 46.33. 6 fewer than. So fewer means less. So we're subtracting but this is also, because we have our then, a slam word. So this 6 is going to have to come after our number. Our number, we don't know what our number is, so we're going to have to use a variable for that. So in this case, they're breaking it down for us. 6 fewer than a number. So this is going to end up being x minus 6. Our 6 came after our subtraction. Now we have is, and then we bring down our 46.33. So this is the final answer for 1A. Then they give us another example. They're giving us for B 2/3 of the cost of the sweater. Is $18. So if we take a look at our sentence, we have to break it down. Here we have our is. We have to remember that is our equals. Cost of the sweater. We don't know what our cost of the sweater is, so we have to use a variable for this. We can use any letter. I'm just going to use X. Of. We have to remember that of in math means multiplication. So we can use our dot, or we can use our parentheses. 2/3 is a number. 2/3. So basically what we're saying here is if we multiply 2/3 times our cost of the sweater, which is X, that's going to end up equaling our $18. So now that we broke down our sentence, all we have to do is put it together. So that's going to end up giving us 2/3 X. This is the same thing as multiplication. They're right next to each other without an addition or subtraction. Is equal to 18. And that's going to be our answer for B. Writing our equations is all about breaking down the words that they give us, just like when we were trying to write out our expressions. So then we have 2. They're giving us A for 2. They want us to write 2 word sentences for the equation. So they give us A plus 15 is equal to 24. The first one they're alluding to is the blank of A and 15 blank 24. So we can look at what's happening between A and 15. It's addition. The answer to an addition problem is sum. So our first word sentence can say the sum of A and 15. We have to see what comes next. It's our equal sign. So for our equal sign, we can say is, because is means equals, or we can say equals. In this case, I'm going to say the sum of A and 15 is 24. So that's going to end up being our first sentence. Our second sentence, what they're alluding to, 15 blank then A blank 24. So here we see 15 comes after A. We have then, this is going to end up being a slam word. So we have to figure out what operation is going on. It's addition. So over here they had fewer than, which was subtraction. Here it's going to end up being more than, because we're doing addition. So we can say 15 more than A. And again, they give us a blank in between A and 24. That blank is referring to our equal sign. So we're going to write is 24. So these are our 2 possible answers for A. For B, they're giving us another symbolic sentence, and they want us to fill in our words. So they're giving us R divided by 0.2 is equal to 40. The first word sentence they're alluding to is the blank of R and 0.2. They're talking about the operations going on here. The operation is division. So what is the answer to a division problem? The quotient. So we have the quotient of R and 0.2. And again, we have our equal sign, so we can say is 40. Our second sentence is we say R blank by 0.2 blank 40. Well, what's happening here? R is being divided by 0.2. So we can say R divided by 0.2 is equal to, or is 40. So these are the 2 word sentences that we can write for that. They're asking us here, explain how you can rewrite the equation n plus 8 is equal to 24 so that it involves subtraction rather than addition. So if we know that n plus 8 is equal to 24, that's saying some number plus 8 is 24, then we can say, well, 24 minus 8 must be equal to n. That's one way that we could do it. And then over here they're saying one student wrote 18 times D is equal to 54 for the sentence, the product of 18 and D equals 54. Another student wrote D times 18 is equal to 54 for the same sentence. Are both students correct? Justify your answer. So technically they're giving us over here the product of 18 and D. Both of these technically are the product of 18 and D, because remember, with our commutative property of multiplication, 18 times D is the same thing as D times 18. So both of these technically are correct. If I was writing this myself, I'd want to write this exactly as it's written. So I'd want to write it with the 18 first and the D second, because they give us the product of 18 and D. Though technically, both these statements are accurate. So, they give us questions on page 299. I want you guys to work on those questions. These questions are exactly like what we're doing previously. For the most part, they want you to write the equations in a word sentence, and then they're asking to write the word sentence as an equation. So let's take a look at some of these problems. We have, for one, write the equation for the word sentence 25 is 13 more than a number. So we have 25 is 13 more than a number. We have to dissect this word sentence. 25 is just a number. 25 is just 25. Is our equal to. 13 is just a number. More means addition. Then is going to be our slam word. A number, we don't know what the number is. We have to use a variable, so I'm going to use x. Which means that we have addition, but our 13 is going to end up moving to the end. So we're going to have 25 is equal to, since our 13 is moving to the end, we have x plus, because of our addition, 13. That's what this sentence is going to break down into. Remember, our slam word removed the number that comes before it after the operation. So that's an example of one. Let's take a look at another example. Let's take a look at 2. We have the difference of a number and 2 is 3 1/3. So with that, if we dissect this sentence as well, we have difference is subtraction. Remember, difference is the answer to a subtraction problem. So we have of a number and 2. That's what we're taking the difference of. A number, we don't know what it is, so we're going to use a variable. And 2 is just 2. Is our equals. And 3 1/3 is just a number, 3 1/3. So if we put that together, we have the difference of a number and 2 is equal to 3 1/3. And that's going to be our answer. So that's turning our words into our symbols. But now what about turning our symbols into words? So with our turning our symbols into words, there are many different ways that we can write it. If I'm taking a look at number 4, which is x minus 0.3 is equal to 1.7. I think the easiest way would be taking a page out of our previous questions book. So what do we have here? We have subtraction between x and 0.3. Subtraction, the answer to that is going to be the difference. So I'm going to say, all right, well, that means that here we have the difference of a number. We could say x or a number because we don't know what it is. And 0.3. We have our equal sign. So remember, in math, equal sign is denoted by is. And our answer is 1.7. So we have the difference of a number and 0.3 is 1.7. So that's essentially what we're doing for all of these. Here and here, you're taking the word sentence and writing an equation. Here and here, you're writing a word sentence for the equation. So again, and I want you to work on page 299, numbers 1 to 11. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to be doing a Google Meet at 9 a.m. You can also ask questions in Google Classroom. So if you have any questions, make sure to ask. Thank you.